Alrighty, welcome everyone to the Irish Collegiate. We've missed the pistol, well, a portion of it. We're getting right into it. It's all on EKIP into the 1 versus 2. Trying to stay alive inside of the site, but finally a headshot comes in from Mr. Turtle. He'll get the defuse in. And it's going to be 1 on the board for UCD. My name is Dinko. I'm going to be joined by your boy Cardinal.
How you keeping, Dinko?
Alright, you?
I'm not too bad, not too bad. I'm excited for our final tonight. I'm excited. Sorry about the delay, everybody. If you're watching at home, we did have a little bit of technical issues with our server to get everything up and running, but should be in for a great game tonight. Now, UCD are going to take the pistols, so going to be seeing what they can bring into round number 2.
Yeah, so you know you're unhealthy when you run up the well, it's more because I have a cold, but I ran up the stairs and I'm completely out of breath, bro. It's not good. This is definitely not good. Grenade coming in from Drags. He's gonna mess up 3 of those players a little bit. Pretty low on all 3 of the Deagle players coming into this. You know, with the new economy changes, you can't afford just to go with a couple of pistols, especially after the bomb plant. You keep yourself a little left in reserve, and you go for the pistol half buy here. And what this does is, you know, it gives you a best chance here in this one for trying to pick up some damage. As they run into the bomb site, Avinator in the middle of the spot, FAMAS in his hands. He lines up 1. Would have loved to have got a little bit more than just 1 kill in that position, but Drags in below. UMP jump kill coming in for Drags. He's able to double up. It's all on Steven. And he'll be dropped by Drags as well. He picks up the triple and gets the second round on the board for University College in Dublin.
Drags in a lot of these games we've seen so far has been the man with the plan, so he's starting off strong on this map. Lovely little jump kill there to get the retake in a little bit faster, but that is going to be the second round going over as expected to UCD. And one of the things to point out in a lot of these rounds and a lot of these games we've seen is that these upgraded pistols can be absolutely deadly, so don't want to be counting Trinity out of those rounds, but they are going to get the buy coming in here. 4 AKs now, and Beast in the East has got himself the AWP, so they're going to be hoping to convert this one now with a decent investment. We see utility as well, a little bit sparse on the Trinity side, but they'll be hoping to do what they can. Meanwhile, UCD now still 1 FAMAS and 1 SMG, so they're not going to be too concerned. But Beast in the East opened up some round with a great kill onto Drag, so it's going to be the up or down for UCD as well. Now, contesting for this mid position, it is smoked off, but still got to be careful, and it is going to be the man advantage in favor of UCD.
Yeah, coming into this one, the Trinity side got the man advantage already, but with finally a buy coming through from the side, they'll definitely try and make this convincing. The UCD had a pretty good start coming into this one. Obviously, Drags finding those triple kill. Won't be allowed too much into this one, obviously being eliminated already. So he has got nothing to do in this. So it's on to the rest of the CT side of players to try and eliminate the T side here. Trying to take a little bit of short control. It's definitely the main area that you want to try and take control of here on Dust 2. At least you have so many options. You can go for the late round push back into the B bomb site, but the flashbang comes in towards A, and EKIP looks to try and open things up.
EKIP takes one down on the bomb site. Evan's going to go down and make that the bomb now too. It's a 4-on-2 in favor of Trinity, so they have secured the bomb site, but it looks like UCD are just going to opt to save up this round. Now, they don't want to lose out on the 2 rifles that they've got left. We see Incipiens with the AUG as well. So we see a little bit of discipline coming out already from UCD. We're only 3 rounds in, opting for the save. And I have to mention, this is actually the first time we've seen Dust 2 on stream. Now, I'm sure these players are obviously very familiar with it, but it's going to be our first time seeing it on the broadcast. So it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out.
I think Dust 2, it was kind of talked about at the last event I was at. We were kind of talking with some of the analysts of the game. I was talking to Chad, Sponge, and he was kind of feeling like Dust 2 is becoming a little bit more structured, you know. You're feeling like the map's not as loose as it used to be. I think at this level it doesn't really matter though, right? You're just going to see the aim stars pick up the frags, and it will generally be the most traditional way of playing Dust 2. So coming into this, I think it's going to heavily lean towards the more individual style team. And talking before the game, I'm not too familiar with a lot of these guys. I know quite a few, but generally the UCD side was pitched to me as having the more individual players, and I'm not too sure how accurate that is, because it did come from the UCD players, but we'll see what's happening.
Yeah, we will indeed. We definitely will. But that's going to be the opener round going over to TCD. So EKIP has something to say about that statement. Now, we see 2 kills actually going the way of Trinity now. So it is a 3-on-5. but can't count UCD out yet. So these players are barreling down long, so they're going to come into contact quite soon, and Rubish does well to find God of Fire and gets traded out. Fanny is going to take him down. And they have almost secured the bomb site now. They know Drags is close. Drags from this position earlier found a couple of kills and make that the first one and a second. Can he find the third? Yes, he can. Beast in the East goes down. That's going to be a very quick retake going over to UCD.
Yeah, Drags just styling on them right there. That's the type of individual skill we're going to expect to come through from him. On a map like Dust 2, again, it's very difficult to retake that A bomb site, but Drags just makes it look easy. He's picking up multi-kills every single time he tries to retake that area. And we've seen the one round that Trinity have been able to win already is because they eliminated Drags early. So if they can find a way of taking him down at the beginning of rounds and trying to eliminate his impact he can bring to the table, then definitely they're in with a chance here. But he's already started things off strong, picking up 6 kills across the board already. And the rest of his team aren't really slouching either. They've got the AWP onto Mr. Turtle, who is yet to die so far on this map. So we'll see what he can get done. Coming into this, it's Trinity spreading out a bit more of a default play. Some control up towards the upper tunnels, where they have 3 players filtering their way through short.
Yeah, and we see a pretty default spread from the T side now. Actually, TCD opting for maybe a little bit more passive play, but they have secured short, as you touched on earlier, Dinko. That is kind of the key area of this map. And although we're seeing a little bit of a more pug style, more deathmatch style coming out here, not the most strategic rounds ever, but at the same time, you don't want to be giving up too much map control just for the sake of it. But we see now, as we just mentioned, that it could be an execute coming in here now. We see some of the TCD players lining up their utility, so they're going to push through now. God of Fire, he's a little bit conscious of that mid position, so he wants to be careful, but there are 2 UCD players on the other side now. They have fallen back, and they haven't elected to give up on B yet, even though they know most of TCD are in mid. But here they come now, pushing out onto short, and the flashbang comes out, so they're going to stick that. Actually finds 2 kills, so Steven and Ekip chiming in. Steven gets a second for himself, and Drags goes down before he can get himself into that position just underneath the bomb site. Now 5 on 2. So UCD opting to just save into this one again, Dinko.
Yeah, pulling themselves away from the site. UCD, they're finally bested towards the A bomb site again. Not really great at holding that. I mean, they've lost that quite a few times, right? It's come down to the retakes, and Drags, yes, has done a successful job, but again, falling here with 0 kills. You can't really look towards him to hit the individual frags every single time. There's got to be a nice hold towards the A bomb site. I think Trinity have found that there is a weakness towards that side of the map, so it's up to them to whether or not they exploit it further, if they keep going towards that side of the map. Currently, though, it's not looking great on the defense side of things. And so coming into this one, the money is kind of gone for UCD. At this point, I would still like to see a force buy come around this AWP and the M FAMAS is being dropped over. So, yeah, it's actually going to be okay. They can get themselves a FAMAS. They've got an M4 AWP, Kevlar and a pistol. So this buy, still poses a threat, but it's not ideal.
No, and if they want to pose a threat going into these rounds, they need to start holding on to the A bomb side a little bit stronger. It's they tend to wait. Control towards this upper and lower tunnels as well, so it'll be interesting to see how they approach this one, and if they do tend to go back towards short into the mid round. 1 minute 10 still on the clock though, so plenty of time left, but UCD don't want to be giving up too many easy kills, and Drags is actually just gonna walk through mid. I'm not quite sure what he was doing there.
He's
but
a noob, man. Definitely a noob.
Well, definitely a noob now. A very interesting statements coming up from my co-caster here, but Evan has something to do with it. He's gonna find Fanny, and with that eagle just on the other side of the smoke, he needs to find that kill, and he does. Retrieves the AK out of it as well. So now we're down to a 3-on-2. Man advantage in favour of Trinity. But the bomb is going to go down, and that Molotov there beautifully chimed in from, I believe it was Steven. So good timing on that. That's going to be the second Molotov, and they're just going to opt for the save, Dinko. So that's 3 saves almost in a row now.
Yeah, UCD backing their way off to get a try and see if the AWP and the AK again. Better move into the next one with at least something, opposed to nothing. Although the loss bonus will begin to build up for UCD. Yeah, they won a couple again. It was off the back of the individual plays from Drags. But coming into this one, they've got to start figuring out a way to make the CT side work across the board. Again, there were some very questionable plays from UCD there, in particular Drags walking through the mid doors. But overall, Trinity looked to be rather solid on the T side so far, coming up with a solid plan. They take the bomb sites, they find the openings, and the trades coming in. So definitely looking pretty solid in a fundamental style of things. UCD need to try and stop that from happening. They will have the AWP on Mr. Turtle, the AK saved over. A couple of pistols in between this time with no Kevlar. So things definitely weaker than over on Trinity. So you got to really look to that AWP and the AK to make a lot of difference here.
Yeah, and the key point here is that even if this round doesn't go their way, they're going to hopefully hang on to that AWP and AK in this round. So keep an eye out on Mr. Turtle and Evan for this round. But early on again, there's another frag going the way of TCD, and it was very uncontested. But Drags does manage to make it not all in vain, and he's going to get the refrag eventually. So they're not going to be able to retrieve that rifle is the only problem. So it is a 4-on-4, but you still got to favor TCD, and we actually see the auto sniper coming out from Beast in the East. Now that could be a little bit of a disrespect early on in this game. We know these players like to trash talk quite a bit amongst themselves, but TCD are definitely going to be feeling confident now, getting the last couple of rounds string together.
Trying to impact onto the bomb site as God of Fire as he runs through. Trying to rattle shots with the AK, but perfectly timed from the top window. Fanny will come in, eliminate Ryubish from that position. It's into the 4 versus 3. This time, UCD have got the AKs and the AWP to work with. So again, a safe call is warranted at this point. And we haven't really seen Trinity want to hunt them too much, so should be pretty easy for UCD just to hold on to these weapons. And it's actually not the worst scenario. You know, you go into this, you only lose 2 players, you get a kill of your own. Yeah, they're allowing the T-side economy to build up, but they're saving a lot of weapons here that will, in turn, allow theirs to build up. So this is definitely looking pretty good for UCD in terms of whether or not they can save these 3 weapons.
Yeah, and if you're UCD, like you said, you know, you'd be very happy bringing that second AK into the next round as well. So with that last round bonus building up, they're not going to have too weak of a buy next round. And if Mr. Turtle has anything to do about it, he could actually take 1 or 2 players with him. But actually, Fanny actually does drop to the bomb site, and I believe not Steven, one of the other players might have as well. I didn't quite catch it, but not actually a bad round considering what UCD brought into that. But Dinko, if we're looking at this now, that's going to be the last 3 rounds going the way of Trinity. So if you're UCD in this situation, what kind of plan do you need to bring out to stop these aggressive pushes coming onto the bomb site?
I feel like, yeah, again, it's all been on the individual plays, but they need to try and figure out a way of... Oh my... What is that? Incipien's running right towards Long with the Molotov in his hands. The fast play from the Trinity side, and they don't expect it. Easy pickups for Trinity, and they've got immediately a 5 versus 3. UCD just look a little unaware, and these calls are, you know, you can't really lean too much on what you can do better other than the simple things like going towards Long with a grenade in your hand. You've got to at least get ready for that. Jiggle peek, find the info first of all, have it up, hold the angle while you do that. You can't just run in with a Molotov ready to throw and die immediately, giving away 2 players with no trade. That is brutal from UCD. And Trinity have pretty much been gifted around here unless Drags can go huge on the bomb site.
Oh, and he could go huge right here now if he times this correctly. He's going to find 2 kills very quickly, but is he going to make that the 3rd? He's not. God of Fire manages to take him out. So they are going to push towards the bomb site now, but we actually see Rubish had pushed all the way back towards B tunnel, so he was expecting the hit to come to that bomb site, and they are spread out. They're going to be linking up though. Mr. Turtle and Rubish now going for this retake together. They're going to come into contact with Beast in the East very quickly. Still, the bomb has just gone down, but Beast in the East is too fast for Rubish. She's going to find that kill. Now it's all in a 1-on-3, and just the AWP in hand, I think Mr. Turtle is going to opt for the save yet again, but that is going to be 5th round now going the way of Trinity, and I think UCD are going to be a little bit disappointed that they didn't convert that one, considering how much they gave away early on.
Yeah, that was a little bit shaky from them at the beginning. Giving away those 2 easy kills. Just a big mistake coming in. Drags does his best as he tries to hold the 8 bomb site, but again, one man can't do it all, so he gets the 2, unable to convert for the triple. So, I mean, they keep doing consistent damage on UCD. At least that's one silver lining you can bring to this, is they keep getting a couple of kills, which is just keeping their money enough to keep buying, and also with the loss bonus that's coming in, they will get themselves a nice buy through anyway. Over on the Trinity side, they'll have no problems for money. Players above 10k, God of Fire here, even with a full buy, still 11,000 in the bank, but the rest of his teammates not much left on Fanny or Ekip. So there's the rebuys. The damage that UCD are doing can definitely show on some of the players on the Trinity side, but not enough to really overwhelm them. Fanny running immediately into the bomb site, able to pick himself up a kill, traded back. Ekip able to follow up, but Drags, he's going to dip through the double doors. He finds himself God of Fire, and it's into a 3 versus 3. Finally something looking good for UCD here. But the Beast from the East standing inside of the smoke, trying to cross over safely, but damage being received. Trains his aim towards the window, flashbang aim, but Drax is still dropped. What a play for the Beast of the East. It's Incipiens and Evanator to try and win this 2 versus 3.
With the bomb gone down and that Molotov holding him out from window, it's not looking likely Evan. He's going to start burning in the flames, but do they know where he is? I think they've actually lost him, and this time is not going to go in his favour, and Steven's going to find that kill. So just as we were saying, Dinko, it looked so good for UCD there. They finally managed to get something to go their way, but ultimately in the end it's going to go over to TCD yet again. So unlucky play there from the guys on the UCD team, but they need to start putting rounds on the board if they want to give themselves a chance in this half. And we know, especially in these games where it is the more deathmatch style, pug style, less strategic gameplay coming out from both teams, that they do favour the T side. So it is going to be interesting looking forward to the next half. But so far, we have got this half to get through, and it looks like they're just going to push through. They do manage to find 2 kills though. So even though they didn't invest too much into this round, they're going to be happy enough to pick up 2 kills. And if they can retrieve those rifles as well, that'd be ideal. But they know Beast from the East is watching the angle. But it is going to be probably the 7th round going in favour of Trinity. So they are starting to put a little bit of a gap on the board, Dinko, and they're going to start pulling away very soon.
Yeah, Trinity just look much better here coming into Dust 2. They seem to be much more structured. UCD have given up a lot of mistakes. Yeah, at least in a position here is Mr. Turtle to try and get something done, but the utility coming in. The Beast from the East spraying through the Molotov. It's going to catch out Mr. Turtle as he's finished off and Drags left into the 1 versus 3. It's almost impossible at this point, but the AWP pulling away from the angle. Drags slips through the smoke, but God of Fire has the angle. Drags realizes it's a possibility, so we'll wait for the smoke to fade. Peeks the angle, and luckily for him, God of Fire had rotated off that angle already. And the B bomb site is the Trinity sides for the picking, and they will put the bomb right down in the middle of it. Drags there for the AK into the 1 versus 3. And he's going to wrap his way through T-spawn. There's someone waiting here. And that is the AWP of God of Fire. Surely Drags falls. But again, the timing. God of Fire pulls away off the angle. The shot comes in. And Drags is finished off. It's 7-3 here. And Trinity definitely looking a lot better than UCD.
Trinity definitely coming out very strong into this opening half of the first map and tonight's final. But you gotta say, you know, UCD have been doing well to take down a couple of players each round and not let the economy get too out of hand for Trinity, but ultimately putting rounds on the board is what matters. So UCD, they're going to be scratching their heads a little bit to see what they can do, but hopefully this double up setup now might be the answer. They need to start holding on to these bomb sites a little bit more going into each round. So Trinity now, if they're not actually expecting this, they might get caught off guard by the close up play from Mr. Turtle here. I don't think he's held this angle yet. So hopefully he can put that in his favour. We see Drags then, star player for UCD. He's got his own up in his hands, so he's going to be putting in work with that. But they are actually favouring this A bomb site now. They've got 3 players over towards it, and we see Incipiens actually sitting on car, and Drags finds the opening kill into the round. So there's the first kill. Man advantage now for UCD. But Trinity are going to just hit the brakes, and they're going to slow down the round yet again. They don't want to give up too much to these AWPs. They start getting their utility out. 1 minute left on the clock now. And we see the hit coming in onto the bomb site, Dinko.
Yeah, Mr. Turtle just sitting on the spot, waiting for that frag to come in, but luckily for the Trinity side, they don't walk up towards the top of the stairs in time, and the Beast from the East is looking to collect his first kill. Looks over the top of the angle, but the shot is received. Drags, the bullet will skin past the Beast from the East's head. And so the time will slow further. It's still an advantage for UCD, and Drags holding inside the middle, doubles up for the round at least, but God of Fire is able to trade back. The flashbang was brilliant from the Trinity side as they continue to fight inside the middle. All over the place are the UCD team, and wow, well, that's an interesting angle. Stephen will be able to pick up the kill and opens up the B bomb site, and with 18 seconds left, the bomb being planted, it's going to be a 3 versus 3 retake here for UCD, trying to come back into B.
And it looks like they're actually going to go for this retake. This is the first attempt we've seen now from UCD, so they're going to be hoping to do what they can to get onto the bomb site, but the utility is locking them out so far, and that bomb timer now is ticking down lower and lower. They have got the kits, so they do still have time to work with, but Beast in the East is going to find a kill. Evan trades him out and finds a second kill onto God of Fire, but that's a beautiful spray down from Steven. He's going to hang on tight as he can, and that's going to be 8 rounds on the board now for Trinity.
Yeah, another easy cleanup towards the end. The Beast from the East is really the player we got to look to here, having the big performance. He's got himself 11 kills on the board. 11 and 5 is the total score. Second in there is Ekip, 9 and 8. And the time it comes in, it's Drags calling it. I think he's going to be the most vocal on this team, right? He's going to be the one that feels the most confident. He's the best player on the team by quite some margin, as is the scoreboard is kind of telling us here. With 12 and 8, he's been the only player that's won them rounds and the only player that's stepping up for them, even in the gun round. So definitely the player to look out for, and I think he's got to try and build this team around him. Surely, you know, you can't be sitting at the top massively by 12 and 8. Can't sort of play this without building that team around you. You need to have every one of those players setting you up, being able to trade frag, setting you up with flashbangs, getting you nice positions so you can eliminate the enemy. So really important that he try and sets up this game for him. And currently Trinity looking to try and fight inside the middle. The Beast in the East trying to take the frags as they cross over again. I wouldn't pick that too often. The Beast in the East definitely looks to try and strike Incipient to walk through with the back of the flash, and he will be eliminated. Opening kill coming in.
Yeah, and yet again we see Incipient's giving himself up really, really easily with no teammate presence around even to back him up there. So maybe it could be a little bit of tilt coming in from Incipients. We don't normally see him play like this in such a loose style, but it is going to be the kill going the way of TCD. But Rubish up on short now actually manages to find a great shot onto Ekip. So going to put in work with that deagle, but a great shot from Beast in the East. He's going to chime in with a kill of his own now and leave Mr. Turtle in just the 1-on-4, and he's not going to be able to get anything done. Actually does manage to find a kill nevertheless, but it is going to be 9-3 now, the scoreline going to Trinity, and we're looking towards the end of this half now, Dinko, and so far since that opening couple of rounds we haven't seen UCD been able to convert anything, and although they have managed to pick up a couple of kills every round and tame the economy of TCD, like we said, you know, it's ultimately main problem is they're not putting rounds on the board. So hopefully at this point now they are going to be looking forward to switching over to the T side, and they might have something prepared for them, but if they let this slip away it could be a very quick first map.
Yeah, it's not looking good at all for the UCD side. The only rounds they've actually won are off the back of individual plays from certain players, so not really something that's substantial and something you can really rely on. And so at this point, Trinity having sort of the consistent factor across the board, they've got 2 players stepping up, the rest of the team are doing their job pretty well, then that's exactly why Trinity are ahead, and instantly eliminating Drags, taking him out of the picture, and that's exactly what UCD need, is Drags to step up here along with one more player, but they're just getting eliminated, picked apart. You can see Trinity setting up with the default. They expect some aggression coming in from the CTs because they are losing so badly. They need to try and do something reckless to try and give them an advantage, and they're just playing off the back of that. We'll pick up these kills, we'll make it as easy as possible for us moving forward. And it's all about finding the kills here for UCD. They need to find the trades back, and they have to find 2 kills to even make it even. So things are definitely not looking good for UCD here.
Definitely not looking good, and it's putting it lightly. And you know, one of the things we talked about earlier during that pause was the effect of Drags on the team, and he is the star player. And I'm not sure if you're aware, Dinko, but he is actually the in-game leader for UCD as well. So he's got a lot of work to do and a lot of pressure on his shoulders. But at the same time, we have seen Incipient switch over to that IGL position in a couple of these earlier matches in the tournament. So that could be something that they might look at if they are really scratching their heads and they can't figure out this system of TCD. But gotta mention as well, from the side of Trinity, they've been playing an absolute masterclass so far. Every angle they have covered, they've got UCD in their pocket so far, and it looks like that's not going to change for any time soon. But this retake now, Incipients, he actually fancies his chances here. And God of Fire being quite low, he's got to be careful. He's going to get shot in the back by Beast in the East, playing too well with that AWP, and it is going to be 10-3 now going into round number 14.
Yeah, this looks to be over if Trinity can pick themselves up a couple more in this first half. It'll be very difficult for UCD to get back into it. We know the Irish scene isn't known for its high mentalities or good attitudes coming into games, so definitely going to be difficult for them to get back into this mentally, which we all know is a massive part of Counter-Strike. You know, it makes up at least 25%. If it was done on a pie chart, mentality would definitely be a big factor of that. Incipient's going to be trying to line them up with a deagle. He's able to pick up a headshot into Ekip, opening things up for UCD, but the trade comes in, so it falls onto Mr. Turtle. He's looking for a little bit more. Drags here with the deagle, spamming away. No kills coming in, but they're pretty low, so Drags could get himself a follow-up. There's the headshot, and it's on to God of Fire and Fanny to try and make this work, but coming in from behind, Ryubish, he has the AD goal, again long range, using it as a sniper, but Fanny on his own, 1 versus 4, all over the place in the CTs. Fragging out at least gets himself the kill, but 3 more to find. Bomb still in his possession though, so just over a minute left for Fanny to try and find a way through this round to try and give them 11.
Yeah, and if UCD are not careful, this might go either way, but Drags manages to pick up the AK, so they are going to secure the round, and it's not going to be all for naught, so they do finally now put another round on the board, give themselves that 4th round, so it is still looking quite grim as far as scorelines go, but they're going to be happy that they were able to convert that. And as you've said, Dinko, you know, that was just another case of a round that they managed to win just due to individual effort. We saw them coming into that round with just a couple of deagles as far as I know, and they finally managed to convert it. In these rounds where they've got a full buy, they've got all the utility that they want, everything that they need, they're not able to do it. So, you know, they've got to really consider that play style, and maybe if it is just a case of their star players stepping up, you know, we got to see more out of Drags, we got to see more out of Incipients. These are the 2 men that we've seen so far in the tournament putting in work for UCD, but Incipients especially is coming up a little bit short here, so hopefully he can figure out something that works for him. But nevertheless, last round of the half, and it is going to be quite a slow round actually, all square so far. Incipient's taking a little bit of damage I think when he crossed over from mid, but he's not going to be too worried. And then we see Drags in mid. He's going to spot 1 player. Can't get the spray down though, so that's not going to be kill going his way. But Mr. Turtle still holding this angle, and he's backed up by his teammate, so even if this flash comes in, he should be alright. But here comes the execute through mid. We've seen Trinity favour this execute so far now to get that smoke down to cover off CT. Drags is going to have to fall back. He's not there to support his teammates, so Mr. Turtle's got to be careful. He needs to start finding a few kills, and meanwhile Steven burning in the smoke, make that God of Fire now as well. And the round is going to slow down yet again, but 30 seconds on the clock. Dinko, what are we going to see happen?
At this point, it looks like Trinity just want to try and make their way into the A-bomb site, pushing through short. They got the AWP close on the angle towards default. Had to pick up the kill on the E-Kip. Steven picking up a headshot across the board. The Drags and Reavis just trying to stay alive, but God of Fire will disallow that. And it's all on the Incipients and Mr. Turtle to try and make an impossible retake work. Luckily for Trinity, they got the bomb plant just at the right time. Their grenade does so much damage. Incipients finished off, and it's Mr. Turtle left into the 1 versus 4. Should be eliminated pretty quickly here as Fanny just pushing closer. It's headshot at least coming through, but Fanny able to find it. It's 11-4 as the half ends in favour of Trinity in quite a one-sided fashion. Although it's all down to the pistol. They have to try and win the pistol here, UCD, and if they can, still in the game.
Yeah, the pistol is going to be the key round to look forward to now as we come into this next half, and it's going to be an absolutely crucial round for UCD to win, because otherwise they're really starting to run out of mistakes that they can make into each of these rounds. We could see a very one-sided map if this does go the way of Trinity, which they're going to be hoping for. But as we spoke about earlier in the half, it's going to be interesting to see how UCD come onto this T side now. Their mentality could be a little bit shook. They could be feeling the pressure and the heat under the collar, but Trinity, on the other hand, they're going to be feeling very confident coming over onto this CT side. So they might have a slightly different approach to their hold on each bomb site. And, you know, UCD have got a bit of a mountain to climb, I think, Dinko, if they want to start taking this map all the way.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, Drags, yes, I've sort of chanted his name quite a bit. He has had the big kills, but the problem is he's died a lot as well. You know, he has thrown away his life a good few times, given away chances that UCD perhaps would have had a better chance if he had stayed alive. So a few mistakes coming through on Drags' end, but again, you can't really lean too much on that as the rest of his team aren't really stepping up too well. And Trinity just looking in control, and if they can win this pistol, I don't see a way really that UCD can come back. Flashpoint
no, definitely not, but they're going to push out, and Incipients finds a great opening kill into the round, and Evan finds one of his own. Now make that Drags as well. They're just tearing up Trinity, and Trinity have absolutely no response to this. They are going to find one kill, but it could just be a consolation so far now that the bomb has gone down. We see just Ekip left with 10 HP after that engagement in mid. Drags is going to lose his life in the process, but he's not going to be too concerned about that. So we see Trinity now pushing towards mid. It looks like they are going to go for this one. And got a fire now left in the 1-on-4. This is going to be a very quick pistol round. Rubish knows where he is. He's tapping away with the Glock and he's going to find the head of God of Fire. So UCD do manage to somehow win the pistol. So that's going to be a very key round for them.
Yeah, very important. I think also in this sort of scenario with the new economy changes, I think the follow-up is even more important. If you can't convert it, then that's a huge issue. But with Trinity having such a large lead, there's no real need for them to go for the force buy, so they can just equip a couple of P250s. So yeah, let's see what they can get done off the back of these. Like, you're not really expecting too much, maybe a couple of kills here and there. It's all about the first gun round now with the new economy changes and Drags lining them up. Able to pick up the triple kill. Evanator gets himself the one frag with the UMP, but the Beast from the East trying to play inside of the smoke. It's on inside the middle, but Incipients will land a blistering headshot right between the eyes. It's 6-11. The scoreline definitely starting to look a little better for University College Dublin, but it's still a long road, and this is the big issue. It's a full buy coming in for Trinity. In terms of the weapons, not so much utility, definitely lacking that, and the kits.
Yeah, and it looks like Trinity are going to be favouring their raw aim coming into this round, not even opting for the AWP either, so it's just going to be 5 rifles. But if UCD don't expect this buy now, they've got to be careful, and God of Fire gives up his life very easily, but they do manage to find a couple of frags in there, so it is a 4-on-3. 4-on-3 in favour of UCD, mind you, so round is not all lost yet, but they've got to be careful. They can't slip back into these tendencies where they start taking these unfavourable engagements, and Trinity can sit back nice and tight now for the rest of this round. So you see Stephen now pushing out mid, and if he's not careful, he could get double peaked, and Drags is going to fall to him. And the trade does manage to come in though. Beast in the East comes out. He's there to support his teammate. Now we're down to a 2-on-2. UCD pushing towards the A-bomb site. They've got the bomb in hand. And they need to be very, very careful now. They've got a lot of angles to check coming out here. And with that smoke on down, now that's going to give away their position. Beast in the East knows they're pushing towards the A-bomb site, but is he going to expect both of these players? We saw Drags on the flip side, but the shot gives himself away. But he manages to find a kill and make up for it. Now it's just down to Mr. Turtle. He's got a huge amount of work to do in this round if he wants to take the 7th for UCD. Is he going to see? Is the timing going to go in his favour? Yes, it is, but the spray comes out. He manages to find a headshot. Took him a little while longer than he would have liked. Now the 1-on-1, but Beast from the East is just too good. And we saw Drags earlier in the game from a similar position find the retake. And now on the flip side, Beast from the East is going to manage it for Trinity.
Yeah, Beast from the East coming in huge there with a triple kill. The 1-versus-1 clutch goes in favour of him as well. Should be very confident and happy that he wins that for the Trinity side, as that's edging them closer to victory, which they're very close to already. So things are definitely looking good for UCD, and this is an incredibly important one from them, right? They've got the AWP in play, the 4 AK-47s across the board. Yes, their buy actually looks a little bit better on paper. They've got the utility all over the place. Whereas Trinity, they've got to rely on the individuals, which they definitely don't have a problem in having. Beast from the East definitely is a player that I'm surprised with. He's been a very, very impactful player. I believe I casted Fanny at the grand finals of the Collegiate in March. Back then, I don't know if he won. I can't actually remember that far back. I've had so many events, Cardinal, I literally cannot remember yesterday. So,
of course.
Yeah, asking months ago, it's just not gonna end well.
No, but he's going to be hoping here tonight that he can take the victory for his team in this best of 3. So keep an eye out for him. And Beast in the East yet again finding a great kill through that smoke. So Incipients is going to go down, and we see Incipients yet again dying very, very easily with no trade potential for his teammates. So he's got to put a stop to this play if he wants to give his team a chance. Now, Drag's pushing out with that AWP and finds a great shot onto Stephen, and manages to even fall back before he loses his life. He was dropped to 6 HP, which is not ideal, but that AWP in his hand, it's not going to matter too much. He has got the bomb, so we might see him swap that out to one of his teammates now as they establish a little bit of mid control and decide which bomb site they're going to hit. But looking at top of mid now, they're not expecting the push from Ekip. He's going to convert that into 1 kill for himself and make that a second. He finds Rubish as well, and all of a sudden, this round that looked like it was going to go in favour of UCD, now we're down to a 1-on-4. Drags just as 6 HP left, and he's not going to be able to get anything done. And we see that beautiful push from Ekip coming in, actually securing the round for Trinity. That was a very good play to see coming in.
I think that you know, theoretically, I think that just wins them the game. I don't think it just secures them around. I think it pretty much secures the game at this point. Because UCD, they've got a very long road coming back into this, and you know, you can always be that positive thinker, glass half full kind of guy, but realistically, at this level of Counter-Strike, you're never going to find a team that has this great mental attitude. They can come back from this a lot of the time. So, going to rush into the B-bomb site. Trinity here with the M4A4, spraying, connecting to Steven on the opening. Fanny able to follow up. And Steven will continue to fight as he goes for more. It's all on Evan. He has got himself a kill already, and he's equipping himself the Tech 9. A weapon we haven't seen too much of, but the grenades, they're going to try to finish him off, but Steven will collect another headshot. It's a quad kill from him, and you know, coming into this game, I kind of discussed with you who you think is the players that are the ones to watch. You did highlight Steven as one of those players. Well, that's one of the rounds that puts him above a couple of the players, but he hasn't had to do too much here.
No, he definitely hasn't. He's been able to kind of sit back nice and tight, and you know, we've seen a great performance so far from Beast, and he's sitting at 22 frags now, so he's playing out of his mind so far in this game. But Steven and Ekip, definitely the two men we've seen the most of from the Trinity side in the last couple of games, and just a very solid performance across the board from everyone on this team. Everyone is running at 100% efficiency so far, so it's good to see. But I think, like you've said, Dinko, now that could be the game for Trinity unless UCD managed to pull something out of the bag. They have very, very few mistakes they're able to make left in this game. And if they start giving up easy frags yet again in this round, it could be match point they're facing into next round. So let's see what they can do here now. They do have the 5 rifles, but very little utility to help them out. So we see the execute coming towards A. And that Molotov, beautiful time, and it's just going to completely deny this push. Make that a second Molotov now as well to force them back even further. UCD just can't seem to get anything to go in their favor this game so far.
Rubish. Okay. Poised and ready towards the B-bomb site, but Beach from the east is able to pick up the kill with the AWP. The Molotov will land inside of the spot and drawing, so capitalise off the back of it. Incipiens opens things up further, but the Beach from the east continues to fight with the AWP as he falls back inside of the B-bomb site. Trained and aimed towards the tunnels as he looks for this frag with the AWP. He spots the shoulder of Mr. Turtle, equips the quick scope, and suddenly we're into a 2 versus 3.
2 versus 3, and Trinity... This could potentially be the ace from Beast and East, but he is going to get taken down before he can find his 4th kill of the round, and now it's all on Ekip and God of Fire in this retake. Only 8 seconds left on the clock though. Evan has got to get that bomb down, but they're not expecting drags here, and he wasn't expecting God of Fire to be so close. Now in a one-on-one, God of Fire's going to swing out, and he's going to find the kill. That's got to be match point now for Trinity coming into this next round, Dinko, and I think, you know, it's looking very, very grim for UCD. I don't see them making this comeback possible.
Yeah, I don't... the balls when God of Fire just to walk right through that door and take that fight immediately. Hits the immediate headshot and UCD will fall. I'm not quite sure whose pick this was. But it's definitely not looking good for UCD. And I actually have a theory that I actually thought it was their pick coming into this, but... could be completely wrong. We'll have to see when it comes up to the second map of this best of 3, because currently this one looks over unless UCD can step up in this final round, or possible final round, as they have the AKs and play across the board. Only a smoke and a flash to work with. It comes down to winning those initial engagements. They have got drawings posted up on short already. You can work in tandem with the players posted up inside a long, but he gets dropped to 15 HP immediately. That's not the player you want to lose. And Reba, she's going to fall as well. He kept spraying. Weird angle to be in. You know, that you can't fall back from that. There's no one to help him. So he's only good for 1, and it's into a 4 versus 4.
4 versus 4. And Drag's gonna just walk out mid, actually, uncontested. No utility being used there. And we see the aim coming out from UCD. Now, this could be what they need to get themselves into this round. Moving towards the bomb site. Beast in the east still left alive. So anything is to play for when that man is still on the map. But it looks like they've actually called the save, I believe. I don't think they want to push too hard. And they've got so many rounds on the board and so many chances at taking map 1. I don't think they want to push too hard, Dinko. And they'll be happy to bring their M4 and their AWP into the next round. They're just going to give up the bomb site to UCD in this round.
Yeah, but the problem is as well for Trinity, yeah, they're so far ahead, but the problem is they don't have that much money built up, you know. You look across the board and, yeah, a few of them have 5k, 4k, but the rest of them, it's only pennies, so they need to keep these weapons. They can't afford to lose them, and Fanny will pick up that kill on a drags, at least takes another rebuy away from UCD. But they're hunting them, and Beast from the East able to pick up a kill. Fanny with the last. And I'll call the save from Mr. Turtle. So they get a lot of damage done into the end of that one, and that's so scary. UCD are left with barely any money in the bank, and Cardinal, that's huge problems for them. Really strange decision to hunt them.
Yeah, that was a very interesting call now to actually push that hard to find Fanny and Beast from the East, and they're left with a very, very limited buy on the UCD side. We see Rubish just sticking with the Deagle as well. He can't even afford himself a rifle, so it remains to be seen if that's going to be the right call, but hopefully Incipients can make it work. He finds a great opening kill onto Ekip, gets out before that flashbang goes off, but God, it fires too quick for him. The frag's going to even up the scoreline 4-4, and Fanny pushes through before the utility comes out. And that's going to be another kill now for Trinity. So they've got the man advantage, and Beast in the East. An absolute masterclass from him so far with that AWP. And his teammate Godfire will go down, but he's going to hold this angle now. And he knows that UCD have limited utility to work with. He's going to be happy to let them cross over. And that's just going to be the one Molotov left. But even through the smoke, he finds a kill. And he's been playing out of his mind so far now. It's all on Evan. Can he do it in the 1-on-3? He's going to take that first duel with Fanny, and it's not going to go his way. Now they know where he is, and they're going to close the vice, and the spray comes out, but Steven's going to trade him, and that's going to be the game going over to Trinity.
Yeah, easy pick up for Trinity there. Big performance from Beast from the East, 28-9 he finishes on. Across the boards, a pretty even and consistent performance from the rest of the Trinity side. A lackluster performance from UCD, and they just get steamrolled.
Steamrolled is a nice way to put it. Steamrolled is a nice way to put it. And although the scoreline didn't show it, some of those rounds were quite close, and UCD did do a lot of damage in those rounds. You know, they managed to pick up a kill here and there to keep the economy at bay, especially in the first half. But from looking at the scoreline, Dingo, it was very grim. It was very, very grim.
Indeed was, but I'm looking forward to the rest of this grand final. We got another map coming up after this. Could UCD pull it back, and will we go to a third in this grand final, or will it be a 2-0 for Trinity? Find out after this break. Alrighty, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's the pistol here, map number 2 of the grand final. We just seen Trinity take map number 1. It was Dust 2, but we're here on Mirage, and again, I'm joined by Cardinal, and my name is Dinko. But look at this play. Incipient's looking for early damage, only gets himself the 1. He can't be able to trade back, and we're into a 4 versus 4.
4 versus 4, but that was a very aggressive play so far in the start of the round, and still plenty of time left on the clock, so this could go either way. We're seeing now a little bit of utility deployed from either side, so they are going to get a little bit cagey in this opening round, but Mr. Turtle finds a kill for himself, so we now are down to a 4-on-3. Man advantage in favour of UCD, but we see Trinity now already back towards the A-bomb site. They don't want to push too hard on B, and they've given up enough of their team so far already, but I think the read has come in, and we see 3 players from UCD here now already, so TCD have got to find a couple of frags to open up this bomb site now, and God of Fire could make it happen. That's the first kill on Evan, and now we're down all square, but a great shot from Rubish. He's going to drop God of Fire, and now we're down again. The man advantage still for UCD, and the bomb yet to go down. 40 seconds left on the clock, so they don't have to rush too far, but Steven's got that bomb, and he's trapped in this kind of noob spot position. He does find a good kill though. Rubish is going to get dropped. And now in the 2-on-2. Steven can't get the bomb down yet though. Mr. Turtle's going to do all he can to delay this bomb plant as much as possible. But there's a great headshot now, and it's all on Fanny. He's going to have to push the whole way around. And he needs to find this kill onto Mr. Turtle very quickly. Only a couple of seconds left in the round, and Mr. Turtle just plays that too well. And that's going to be the pistol round going over to UCD.
Exactly what they need. A good start coming into Mirage. They had got the start on Dust 2 though, but it all fell apart after that, so it's all about converting it and winning the follow-up gun rounds as well. But Mirage, you know, you would talk to one of the players after the map loss on Dust 2, and you had said that they had only played it once as a team, and that was that once. They played it during the final. So things definitely not looking good on Dust 2. They definitely look like a fish out of water, so hopefully things are different here on Mirage, and starting things off with the pistol, obviously the best way of going things. Oh. Rubish looking to try and get a little bit of damage done with the scout. Actually lands one heavy shot, but immediately has to fall back.
He does, and now a couple of his teammates have been dropped quite low, and we see a lot of kills raining in for UCD. They're putting those SMGs and the FAMAS to work, and they're going to be hoping to bring all their weaponry into the next round and start off nice and strong on Mirage, because just talking to some of the players in the interim there before map number 2, Dust 2 was actually Trinity's pick, so they were definitely a lot more prepared coming into that one than UCD were. Now, Ekip does manage to find himself 1 kill, and he's going to pick up the SMG, make that 2. He had no business finding that second kill, but a little bit of economic damage done. UCD are not going to be too concerned, but this is the key round now. This is where we saw them fall down on Dust 2, so hopefully they're a little bit more prepared for this one, Dinko.
So, here comes the bye rounds. Let's see what the Trinity side have coming into this. I'm looking forward to seeing whether or not they've got executes on this map. That's always a telltale to whether or not they've actually practiced this at all. The nice little smoke execute coming in immediately definitely shows they have some knowledge of the map. Flashbang into the lower parts of the underpass to try and just split towards the top of middle and under mid, where they have one player posted up inside a ramp. Very standard setup coming in, and generally this means they want to go for the A split.
Now, the round has slowed down quite a bit though, but there's a lot of players in close proximity, so they've got to be careful. And Beast in the East, even though he's flashed, he's going to find that kill. Still, he's coming out strong early into this map. We saw a great performance from him on Dust 2. Let's see if he can replicate it here. And with that, Trinity are going to get control of mid. Very key part of the map, and Mr. Turtle is going to get dropped to 46 HP in the process. He's got to fall back from short, but he does at least find the information for his team. And now Trinity barreling towards this A-bomb site. They've got their whole team in tow, and Fanny finds Incipient's on the rotate behind him as well, so that's going to shut that down. But are they going to be expecting the second player? Rubish is there. With this being a 4-on-2, it's not looking likely. Mr. Turtle, though, stops the bomb plant, and he's dropped the bomb now as well. That's going to be key if they're able to get something done in this round. We saw him play from this position before, but God of Fire is going to drop his teammate, and now it's all on Mr. Turtle. They know where he is, so it's looking very unlikely that he's going to be able to get much done. He's just going to smoke himself out and try and save this rifle, bring it into the next round. But this is going to be Trinity's first round on the board, and it's interesting, Dinko, that On the last map, when we saw Trinity get access to these rifles, as soon as they could bring a few gun rounds together, they started to put a lot of rounds on the board very quickly. So we might see a repeat of that here. But it is going to be 2-1 the scoreline now, coming into round number 4.
Always a good start to the game where you can win the first gun round after losing the pistol and the follow-up. It shows that Trinity definitely are winning those important rounds. So that puts UCD's economy into the bin. And when they got the deagles to work with, we've seen them go for the deagle a couple of times, where they buy the deagles, leave enough money in the bank to get a full buy into the next. So the idea behind this is just to see how much you can get done while leaving enough to make it competitive into the next. So currently, Trinity just playing a slow run, waiting for some aggression, which generally does happen on these pistol style runs. So Mr. Durrell, he's going to be dropped by Fanny right through the smoke, and a man advantage picked up for Trinity already.
Trinity, they're very, very good at finding these opening frags into these rounds. And I know UCD didn't invest too much here. Like you've said, they just have the deco and the 1P250. Incipiens picks up a diffuse kit as well. So maybe their plan is to go for the retake here. That might be what they're trying to do. But at the same time, Trinity looking very, very dominant in this round so far. They're playing with confidence, especially from that last map coming through where they had an outstanding performance. They're going to be very, very confident coming onto Mirage. But here comes the execute. And now they're going to slowly make their way onto the bomb site. Now they don't want to give up these easy angles to those deagles, but Rubish is going to find a beautiful shot as Beast from the East emerges from Palace. And now they've lost track of him as well. He manages to fade away back into the smoke. Ooh, there's a great shot from Steven. He finds Drags as he comes around the corner. He's not going to be happy about that one. But UCD only managing to find the 1 kill so far. Now that the bomb's gone down, it's not looking likely that they're going to be able to convert this round, but hopefully get a couple of exit frags. Are they going to notice him yet? He is just about. Incipiens manages to look up in time and kind of try and retrieve the rifle as well. And he has to take on Ekip and Steven if he wants to. Actually goes to find a kill. So drop down to 2 players left for Trinity. So not too bad of an investment into this round. And Fanny's going to close out the round just before the bomb goes off. But UCD did well there to at least take 3 of the Trinity players with them.
It's not bad, right? So here we go into an important one. This is the round from Trinity to take the lead. Again, University Dublin are going to have to go with themselves, picking up a couple of pistols, leaving some money in the bank. Most of their team had enough to buy, but not all, so probably best to make the call just to save, buy a couple of pistols and see what you can get done. Incipiens look to get aggressive in underneath the underpass. You'll be able to pick up the openings. Godaflyer will lose his head, although Ekip looks to try and find this trade, and indeed he will. Incipient stays 2 beyond his welcome as the headshot will come in, and it's into a 4 versus 4 immediately. And Trinity, they've got the map control towards the top of middle. Steven just holding the flanks inside of T-spawn, and the play can again slow down. The point of this is for Trinity have control of it in terms of the weaponry and being able to dictate the pace, but Rubish annihilates Beast from the East towards top of middle, and we're into a 3 versus 4. The CT's with the advantage, but they're pretty low here, so Ekip could open up B with this grenade.
And I think he's going to do just that. A beautiful nade. He catches it in Evan's mouth, so he's going to go down. And now they've already got control of the B bomb site. They do find the kill on Rubish in kitchen as well in market. So that's going to be the bomb site going over towards Trinity. They do manage to get the bomb down as well. So with just these pistols left, Drags does manage to find himself an AWP in the process. So he's definitely going to look to hang on to that. Hopefully pick up a few exit frags on the way. But most importantly, he wants to bring that into this next round. And you know what I'm going to say next, Dinko, but this is going to be the 3rd round for Trinity since we've started, having these gun rounds, and the economy of UCD hasn't been great. So we are going to be looking forward to the next round to see what they can do. But I am starting to worry that we might start to see a little bit of a repeat of Dust 2.
Yeah, I mean, the strange economy decisions at the beginning of this one from University College Dublin has left him with no money for the entirety of Trinity's gun rounds after the first, so there isn't too much to lean on in terms of sample size of whether or not, we have gun round against gun round. So this is an important one for University College Dublin. They have the double up setup coming through, the 2 M4s in play, even the AUG and Incipients, and that's a weapon we started to see come into play a lot more across the pro scene, and it's starting to trickle down into the amateur scene. So This is a very important one in University College Dublin after the loss bonus starting to build up, the save rounds, you know, pick up a couple of kills. They finally got enough to get themselves a solid buy through, but Trinity still got the 5 AKs, still posing a massive threat here. And of course, if they win it, Cardinal, that means no money left for University College Dublin.
No money left, and possibly no morale left either. This could be a real kicker in the teeth for UCD if they don't manage to convert this round, and they're going to be heavily relying on that double up setup from Rubish and the star player Drags as well. But here comes the execute now from Trinity. Beast in the East. It's going to take a little bit of damage in the process, but UCD now, we're going to see how their prowess comes out in regards to their team play when it comes to this retake. But the wall of smokes is up. And Beast from the East is already going to find himself a kill in this round. Rubish and Evenator, though, they're going to find a couple of kills themselves. That if they don't push now, the bomb site is going to go in favor of Trinity. And they knew where Rubish was as well. Incipiens is going to find one, so it is all on Ekip. And he's going to have to get the 4K now if he wants to do anything in this round, but it's not going to go his way. That's going to be now UCD bringing the scoreline back to even Stevens, so 3-3 apiece. And their first gun round now, they do manage to convert it, which it could be key, especially for their morale, Dinko.
Yeah, I mean, they do it rather convincingly as well. So things are looking pretty good for them. Beast from the East, what is happening here, right? So he'll pick himself up the Deagle in the end. Kevlar on board as well, a couple of pieces of utility. So Trinity's buy still poses a massive threat here to UCD. But they have the AWP of Drags, goes for the initial peek inside of Underpass, able to collect it onto God of Fire. Fanny hops up on top of the boxes, trying to find that trade back. He does some damage on a Rubish, but it's not really enough to get the frag, so instead it falls into much slower play, and currently the CTs have all the control of this map. The only control you can say that the T's have is top mid, and even at that, they've only got one player there, and pulling themselves back over towards the A bomb site is the rest of Trinity.
Yeah, and even though they kind of had control of that top mid area, Fanny was kind of hiding like a cat there for a little while. He wasn't quite sure which AWP was going to peek him next, but he does manage to get away with his life. And we see now Trinity slap the brakes on. They're going to take this one nice and slow. They know they're a man down, so they've got to rely on their team play and some trade potential to get back into this round. But UCD are going to be trying to put a stop to it if they can, and it looks like here comes the execute now. They're going to start piling out onto the site. Limited utility now, considering they are a man down, but Ekip open up the round. He finds one kill. Drags manages to get one himself before Fanny takes him out, so that could allow a bomb plant, but Incipiens, he's going to take down Fanny now, so the man advantage is still towards UCD, and Ekip just kind of staring through the smoke there. I'm not quite sure what he was expecting, but it's all on Steven now, and he's in the 1-on-2. Both of these UCD players are quite low, and he needs to find this kill before he gets forced out, and this could give them time for the defuse, and he's got the kit. Rubish is going to go for it. The spray down from Steven. He manages to find both just in time, and that's going to be another round on the board for TCD.
Yeah, it was brilliant from Steven coming in for the ramp, able to transfer onto both players, inside of the Molotov as well. Excellently played, and that's going to give Trinity in a very important round, and that's going to be a kick in the teeth, like you said earlier, to UCD. Their money is back in that bin, and they've got to fight out of this after this tactical pause that's coming in from the T side. So things definitely looking up for Trinity, but the problem still lies for UCD. The money is again gone.
Yeah, and Dinko, you know, we talked about this a lot on Dust 2, how we saw a lot of their play being very kind of aim dominated, where we didn't see a whole lot of strategy coming out, and that could be the catalyst in this game for either of these teams to actually take it all the way. And we saw there Steven really had no business winning that 1v2, but manages to do it off the back of his own performance, so he's going to be another one to watch in this map. But after that pause now, it was actually called by the T side, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, but
yeah, it was God of Fire called it.
Yeah, brilliant. So they're going to have a little bit of discussion there to see what they can do, and they're not coming up against too much this round. So it is going to be looking like a 3-5 scoreline unless something very strange comes in from UCD. But all importantly now, once that economy comes back from UCD, they need to start getting a little bit of momentum behind themselves. But it is going to be a very quick round so far. Just Mr. Turtle left in the 1-on-5. Potential maybe to pick up Fanny if he comes into his crosshair, but it's not going to go his way, and not a man dropped for TCD. That's going to be 3-5 now in favour of Trinity.
Yeah, Trinity starting to really look dominant here on Mirage as well, which is pretty scary for UCD coming into this. And if you are just tuning in to the grand finals here of the Irish Collegiate, we've got ourselves UCD taking on Trinity. College in the grand final. We've just had Dust 2 play out, and that's where Trinity were able to take that one pretty convincingly. We've moved into Mirage, which is the pick of UCD. And yes, it's looking a little better for them in terms of early starts, but Trinity starting to grasp control. But look at this fast playing towards the ramp room into T-spawn. Evan able to pick up the first, but Steven transferring for the triple. He couldn't get himself the quad kills. The grenade will filter on through. Not much damage done, so back into a slower play for the CTs as their push does not really work.
No, and it was actually smart play from Beast in the East. He had the AWP in his hands when he went for that peek on ramp, and he managed to fall back all the way to T-spawn, so he didn't give up his AWP either. Now, with that said, UCD might be able to retrieve it here, and I think that's what they're looking to do. Actually, no, I'm not quite sure what happened there, but they didn't manage to find any weapons that they dropped from Beast in the East, so they're going to be coming across with just a couple of pistols, and they're going to be looking to pick up just as many frags as they can, do as much damage as they can before this round is over. But it is going to be yet another round going in favor of Trinity, and they are starting to put a little bit of a gap on the board. Rubish not expecting that player to be holding short so soon, and now Drag's left on a 1-on-4. He's not going to be able to get too much done, I'm afraid, but still 3-6 is most likely the scoreline we're going to be looking at next going into round number 10. And we got to think back to that performance on Dust 2 from UCD, where once Trinity got a little bit of momentum behind themselves and a little bit of confidence in their play, they really started to pull ahead in these rounds. So UCD need to be careful that they don't slip back into that complacency and let it happen again.
Oh, they're going to find the last player as well. Drags eliminated, and it will be T-side taking quite a lead here, doubling the score of the CTs by coming through again from UCD. Exactly what they need. We've seen a little bit of success on their buy rounds. Hasn't exactly been too consistent though. But coming into this, at least they've got a chance. It seems to be the standard buy for them when they get the money is the double op coming through. Although this time instead of Drags on the op, it's Rubish and Mr. Turtle. Drags onto the M4A4. Initial shot coming in. It's going to do some damage on the Beast from the East. Problem is, there's a player close, and that's Drag with the M4A4. Mr. Turtle going for a little bit of action, but Drags doubles up inside the middle. It's 2 kills. Fanny and Beast from the East are finished off, and it's UCD taking the advantage. 2-man advantage in round number 10, and Drags going to grab himself a little more. It's a triple from him, and he's looking for more action. Towards the top of mid, Rubish has the angle, so falling apart here at Trinity.
Trinity really now crumbling under the pressure here. UCD have had a great performance. Drag so far with 3 kills already in this round. He's looking very, very good. Nice and slick aim from him. And with just Steven left, and he doesn't have the bomb in his possession, UCD, if they push any further, they are going to come into contact with the bomb as well. So not looking great for Steven in this round, but anything can happen, but it's not going to happen this time. Evan does find his head, and now UCD put yet another round on the board. So that's the 4th round for them. And this is going to be a very key round here now. They don't want to get reset again like we've seen twice so far in this map already. So, Dinko, I think now all eyes are on UCD this round to see what they can do. They really need to convert this one as well.
Same can sort of be said about Trinity though, right? If they lose this, all their money's gone. So this is what we like to call a swing round. So UCD, yes, it's important for them to try and pick this up, but same can be said for Trinity. Going for the aggressive play. Again, Drags just walking straight up middle, you know. Once it works, you can't just go straight up for it again, right? He gets the 1 kill, but they have 2 more players there expecting that, and so he's eliminated. It's immediately a 4 versus 4. So play can begin to slow again, and going back towards the A bomb site, congregating towards this area of the map are 3 of the players from Trinity, leaving 1 up towards the B apps. Seems as though they do want to make their preference in towards A, and the commit will come through with the execute.
Yeah, the round has slowed down quite a bit again, so loads of time left on the clock. Neither team wants to push too hard to make something happen, and UCD are going to be happy to sit back. Just make sure they don't give up any ground unnecessarily. Now, Rubish and his teammate Mr. Turtle are pinned towards this A bomb site, so they've got both AWPs where they want them. And we also see Evan, I think, yeah, it is just Evan inside playing that close angle as well in case that wall of smokes comes in from Trinity, which we know they've been seen to do in the last couple of rounds. But Only 35 seconds left now. They've got to start thinking about making a move, and Ekip is going to find a very easy kill. I'm not sure what Evan was doing, pushing that aggressively, trying to find a bit of info for his teammates at least. And Rubish holding that angle. He's going to burn in the fire, but takes Ekip down before he goes down himself. And now Steven has to fall off the plant. He can't actually get the bomb down. And only 15 seconds left now. Trinity really need to do something here, and UCD just have to hold on a little bit longer. Incipien's pushing through this fire. He's going to get one, and that's going to stop the bomb yet again. Mr. Turtle also finds a kill now. Steven, he only has a couple of seconds. He doesn't have enough time.
Yeah.
And that's going to be it. UCD, by the seat of their pants, managed to find themselves around there, and very chaotic, but they managed to make it work.
Yeah, just leaving it so late into the end game of that round there for Trinity. You know, they still had a chance to do it if they played for the elimination, but just not enough time to get the bomb planted, and so Mr. Turtle can just back away, stays alive. Smart call just to read the time. And so we come into round number 12, and it's 6-5, still leading here at Trinity, and they've got another bye through. Problem here is for them, if they lose this, everything's gone. Literally everything. So it all lies on this. Winning this for Trinity would give them 7 and try and put UCD's money back into the bin. Beast on the East is going to open things up and give the advantage on over to Trinity.
Very crucial round for both teams here, especially Trinity. They've got absolutely nothing left in the tank if this one goes the way of UCD, and that'll be the scoreline even up as well. But Drags is going to walk into a bit of a firing squad down in Underground at the start of this round, so they do have the man advantage at least going in their favour now. And with that man advantage, they know they can slow the round down. They don't need to push too hard and try and take as many favourable engagements as they can. 5 rifles across the board for Trinity, not opting for the AWP. Don't think they could afford it coming into this round and opted for more utility instead. But over on the UCD side now, they're holding very, very passive angles. We see actually Mr. Turtle sitting all the way in CT spawn holding that angle. He's expecting the boost to come in, but doesn't look like it's likely now. Trinity leaving the clock down. We've only 40 seconds left on the clock, and we saw this happen last round where they left it quite late. They're only now bringing the bomb towards B, and you see, I believe it's Rubish. He's pushed all the way up, and if they're not expecting him to be playing this close, he could be a real thorn in their side, and they're about to come into contact with him, but God of Fire expects it. He takes down Rubish. That's a key frag. Mr. Turtle is going to chime in with one, but they need to get this bomb down, and the Molotov on the site, that could cause serious trouble for Trinity. And the fire coming in from all directions now. Evan, he's going to get a kill of his own just before that smoke goes down, and only 8 seconds left. Steven, he decides to go for the kill. Very ballsy play there to opt out of planting the bomb, I should say. But he manages to make it work somehow, and that's going to be 7 rounds for Trinity.
Yeah, this is a really good position for them to start to extend upon that lead that they've built up, so they need to try and win the next two. They've got the utility in play, and over on UCD there's nothing there to really ride home about, so this should just be a pretty easy 8 on the board for the Trinity side, which would confirm themselves at least a 1-round lead moving into the second half, but they would love to get a little bit more than that, especially after coming out of Dust 2 so far ahead in the mental game and just looking solid overall. So here comes the execute. They're still going to put all their efforts into this, even up against the pistols.
And Drags actually finds a cheeky headshot onto Fanny. Not enough to kill him, but deals considerable damage. So he gives his teammates a little bit of a chance. Mr. Turtle is going to spot that gun barrel as well. So he's going to take that kill every day of the week. And now we see actually a lot of the TCD players are kind of separated here. And if they're not careful, they could go down. We see that actually Fanny's going to get dropped. And now Steven's only on 19 HP. So the bomb has gone down. So you still expect this round to go the way of Trinity. We're down to a 1-on-1. And Incipiens has found himself an AK as well. God of Fire though, playing this one smart. He knows he doesn't have to go for that frag. Just waiting on the defuse. He knows Incipiens probably doesn't have the kit as well. That's not going to be enough time, I believe. Incipiens is going to have to leave it off. He doesn't have enough time. So Trinity, as we said, Dinko, they are going to pick themselves up in 8th round now, coming into round number 14. So looking towards the end of this half, it's been a pretty dominant performance from Trinity so far, but UCD have definitely got their foot in the door a little bit more than they did on Dust 2. But it is looking like this half is going to go towards Trinity so far.
The thing with this map is it's much more... Every round is a little bit more close, right? Yeah, we've seen Trinity pick up the last few rounds, but they've had to fight for them. You know, in the last one, it just comes down to time. In the previous one, it was down to time. It's into 1 versus 1s. It's been pretty close, and Trinity have just got a little bit lucky when it comes down to the final nail. So they have had some weaknesses. UCD just haven't really been able to exploit it because they haven't had control of the economy game, which generally is a common factor if you're on that CT side. But what a shot right through the smoke. Mr. Turtle able to decapitate Beast from the east. Got a fire looking for the trade. Does substantial damage to Mr. Turtle, drops into 1 HP, and unlucky to not come away with a kill. Fanny finds the trade eventually from short, and it's into a 4 versus 4.
4 on 4, but Mr. Turtle clinging on for dear life there, left on 1 HP from that engagement in window, and he has got the AWP in his hand, so it's not going to be of too much concern, but a gust of wind at this point now would tip him over. Even scoreline 4-4. Players left alive on each side, and now Trinity, they've kind of spread themselves out a little bit here. They are bringing the bomb towards A. I'm not quite sure what their plan is here. Possibly to draw some of the presence from UCD over towards the B bomb site, but they are going to find a great kill onto Incipients now. So now the man advantage is in their favour, and Mr. Turtle is in a very precarious position here. He's going to shoot the leg of Ekip, though. That's not going to be what he wanted to find. He doesn't have the frag grenade to take him out either, so he's going to have to peek again. Waiting for his teammates there to come and help him. But meanwhile, 2 of these Trinity players are heading towards A, and I think they've actually sold the bait, Dinko. They've managed to do it, but they weren't expecting Evan. Steven is going to drop him, but now the cat is out of the bag. They know what to expect. Mr. Turtle has a huge job here. 1 HP. Can he do it on 1 HP to take down Godafire? He's going to be listening for that bomb plant. Godafire now firing away a few shots. Not enough time. And it is going to be an 8th round on the board for Trinity. So yet again, you touched on it earlier, Dinko, as even though the scoreline doesn't show it, this game has been a lot closer than you would lead to believe.
Yeah, there we go. It could be an 8-7.5. It's quite likely, actually, with the buy that UCD have in comparison to Trinity's. I think this buy from both teams pretty much summarizes exactly how this game has been. Just scrappy and inconsistent. As they run towards the B-bomb site, the Beast from the east looks to try and open things up as he's able to spam away the Deagle into the chest of Incipients, blows him away as Mr. Turtle on the spot. 5-7 in hand up against the Tech 9, but Godfire uses the AK to his advantage, but Rubish quick with the trigger. The AWP will land its shot. It's into a 3 versus 3 retake. UCD will hop through the window, coming in towards the FAMAS. It's the Beast from the east on the bench. He's going to spray through, picks up the first, looks to flick to the left, but Evan able to double up. It's all on Godafire to try and make a 1 versus 2 work as he spams away. 7 HP on Evan. He's done enough to try and get his way back into the bomb site, but Godafire might have just done it all for the Trinity side as they pick up 9 and lead by 3, moving into half number 2 of the second map of the grand finals.
9-6 coming into the second half of this map, and we see over on the Trinity side 14 kills for 3 of their players. They've been very, very consistent across the board, and we see actually Drags has been very quiet so far in this game. He hasn't been able to find his groove and get a little bit of momentum going, so hopefully now when we swap sides and he comes over and gets that AK into his hand more reliably, we can see him come alive. But it is going to be 9-6 in favour of Trinity. And what are we going to be looking for now in this next half, Dinko? Are UCD going to be able to turn the tables a bit and start putting those rounds on the board and even up the scoreline?
I think at this point, we've seen what UCD can. I think we started to see the extent of UCD. I think it's generally just individuals, and at this point, Drag's been at the bottom of the scoreboard. It's not great, is it? The only time he's really found success is when he sort of goes for the gimmick play, he tries to run up top mid and goes for the double kill. Yeah, it works once, he goes for it again, gets eliminated. I think Trinity just look more solid across the board as a team, and I think that's a big factor. They even have individuals that are winning clutches. Beast from the east obviously had the big performance on Dust too, but it's Ekip and Godafire at the top of the scoreboard here for the Trinity side. So coming into the pistol, it's important that UCD try and post the numbers here as they're setting up with all 5 players into A. The smoke's will come on over the top. It's going to be a stairs and jungle smoke coming in, and the stairs smoke does not bloom just in time for Steven to try and spot the info. And this is where UCD need to clear the angles. Takes the fight towards CT. Evan wins at long range with the Glock. So into a 4 versus 5, immediately favouring UCD.
And now it looks like TCD have got to play this retake. Steven finds himself a kill to get a foot in the door into this round. But it's still going to be the man advantage, but not for long. Steven finds another kill now. The bomb down. And they've only got the defuse kit on Fanny, so he's going to be crucial. And if he dies in the wrong spot, this could cause serious havoc for the Trinity side. The smoke is deployed, so that's the last bit of utility for TCD used up. Now Ekip has a big job to do. He knows one of these players is after jumping down from Palace, but the defuse comes in the smoke, and Evan's not going to be able to find the kill. He rushed down for it, but it is going to be the pistol round now going over to Trinity. So they're going to put yet another round on the board, and as you've said earlier, Dinko, you know, it's important for them to convert this round now as well. But UCD are going to be a little bit disappointed, I think, with that one.
So, coming into this, Trinity, they've got themselves the two M4A4s, 3 UMPs, and an MP5 to work with as they run all over the place. It's the Glocks from UCD trying to get some space and some map control, but they generally will not be allowed that, as Beast from the East able to connect the shots onto Incipients. It's into a man advantage for the T side, but Ekip, that's a grenade kill. And a follow-up coming in from the M4A4. Mr. Turtle and Rubish, they're left in an impossible situation up against the 5 players of Trinity. The CZ in hand equipped, and it's a kill coming in from Mr. Turtle. Stephen will be at the bottom of the connector as he looks to pick up the frag. There's the headshot. Backs his way towards the top of the connector, and Rubish, P250 versus 4, and just over a minute left to try and recover that bomb. Oh, he's been spotted, and Ekip will collect himself the triple. It's 11-6 here for Trinity, starting to really rein in this grand final.
Yeah, and I think if you're UCD in this point, you got to start looking at that scoreline and starting to get a little bit nervous. Maybe feel the pressure in this grand final. They know they don't have another map to give up, so they've got to convert this one all the way if they want to bring it to a map number 3. But Trinity, on the other hand, have been looking extremely strong. They look very, very strong coming into all of these rounds. Their team play, especially in their coordination amongst all the players, has been particularly good. So they're going to be feeling very confident coming into what could be potentially the last couple of rounds of not only this map, but also of the grand final, Dinko.
Ooh. Grenade lands on Ekip. That's going to be 40 HP damage down. And Incipient's running up towards the top of the stairs. Is finished off from Beast from the East, but Drags is able to equalise and goes for a follow-up. But Beast from the East is there, and he will take that kill. It's into 3 versus 3. And at this point, they have to try and recover that bomb, as UCD will do so, heading their way back towards T-spawn. Already there's a player inside of the bomb site, and that's Evan. He's the linchpin of this attack, and he has to make the big play here. The smoke will come in, and that will telegraph that they are heading towards this side of the map. There's 2 players here for the Trinity side. One posted up towards the Palace, one inside of CT spawn. They've got one all the way back over towards B if they want to rotate him over. This is the right time to do it as they run on in. There's the kill from God of Fire in underneath the wood. The bomb is dropped. The spray coming in. He's so low. 1 bullet headshot to the head of God of Fire, and Beast from the East needs to just stay alive. It's going to be a 2 versus 2, and the bomb surely gets planted.
With only 35 seconds left on the clock now, that was a key kill from Evan to find. Fanny's going to get dropped, and they're going to start deploying all their utility. They know where Beast in the East is, and he's been locked out of this plant. The bomb is going to go down, but it's all on Beast in the East now. Is he going to opt for this kill? Is he going to go for the retake? I don't believe he is. It looks like he's backing off. But UCD, on the other hand, are going to be hoping to find him now. They don't want to lose their weapons either, and Evan is quite low. And there comes the call. Beast from the East is just going to back out of that engagement. He's not going to go for the retake. And maybe if he had a little bit more HP, he would have been fancying his chances. But for now, it is going to be 1 round going in favor of UCD. So first gun round for them since this pistol has gone in their favor, which is a good sign. We see that has been crucial in the last couple of halves that we've had so far, Dinko. But on the other hand, Trinity, with their skill that they've shown so far, they could pull this back now. They've got enough money to have a decent buy coming into this round. They're not going to have their AWP, unfortunately. But on the other hand, UCD just opting for those 5 AKs. So it still is all to play for.
So UCD throwing the smokes over towards middle, trying to get inside of that area very quickly. Try and just immediately take mid control there. They've done so job done. That'll allow them to sort of set up for the rest of the round where they want to go. Heavy presence inside of A. The opening kill coming in as the Beast from the East is finished. There's only 1 flash and a smoke left for the CTs here. And God of Fire has definitely been one of the most consistent factors here for the CT side. You know, he's finding the kills when needed, called upon, and Drags rattling shots through the mid window. That's going to be a follow-up kill and an advantage pulled back for UCD.
Yeah, and it's probably an interesting note that God of Fire was a little bit quiet on Dust 2, maybe kind of overshadowed by his teammate Beast in the East in a lot of those rounds where there was just simply not enough players left alive in each round for him to take down. But he's been playing great so far, and himself and Ekip have been doing all they can to keep this scoreline in favour of Trinity. But Beast in the East now still a deadly force to be reckoned with, so Trinity have still got a decent position on the board now. Their economy is not great, so they're going to be a bit disappointed if they lose this round, considering they brought the 5 rifles into it. But UCD are going to get the bomb down. Mr. Turtle playing this one safe. We saw that on the last map as well, that UCD gave up a lot of kills without using utility, without having any team presence there for some trade potential, but they do seem a lot more cohesive so far in this round, and Trinity are not going to opt for the retake either. Going to be happy enough to bring their armor on Fanny and Ekip into the next round as well as their 2 M4s. But UCD, on the other hand, are going to be very, very happy now to put themselves within touching distance of Trinity in terms of rounds. So they're going to be hoping to even up the scoreline as soon as they can. But they don't want Trinity now to start putting too many more rounds on the board. They're going to be looking at match and game point, tournament point. See the pause coming in actually from God of Fire.
Yeah, they need a bit of a pause here. They're starting to lose control of this game, and he has been the only consistent factor in the last couple here. He kept definitely leading the way for the Trinity side, but things have definitely started to drop off overall across the board. So they need to start to step up here, Trinity. Otherwise, they're going to allow UCD back into this. They've got themselves the utility across the board here, UCD, and over on the CT side of things, it's a couple of M4s in play. Beast from the East is going to drop one on over, so let's see what they can get done off the back of this as we're back into the action. It's a scrappy buy from the CT side, and yes, they've got a little bit of money left over, but they'd love to win this one. This is really important for them.
Yeah, and it's an interesting point actually, is that we see God of Fire actually still stuck on the P250 with his teammate Beast in the East, and they've opted to leave the M4 on Fanny, who only has 8 frags so far in this game, so an interesting decision there. Maybe those 2 players are confident enough playing with their pistols, but Evan's going to find himself the opening frag of the round, and that's going to be Beast in the East deleted from the round. And now the man advantage in favour of UCD yet again, so looks like they're going to be lining themselves up for an execute on B. And Trinity have a bit of a job to do here if they want to hold on to this bomb site with such a limited buy. Rubish is going to make his way out now nice and cautiously. And a little bit of team damage there is going to go in favour of Trinity, so actually make that the 1-on-3. Stephen left alive with just his USP, so he's probably just going to look for a couple of exit frags here, maybe pick up a rifle if he can, scavenge something. But this is going to be another round now in favour of UCD, so they have evened up the scoreline almost 9-11, and they are within touch and distance of coming even for what I believe is probably the first time in this game since the start of the map. So their confidence maybe starts to return at this point, Dinko, and they start to play a little bit more confidently, but you know, it remains to be seen. So Stephen's going to get dropped, and that is going to be 11-9 now. It's still in favour of Trinity, but UCD have started to pull themselves back into the game.
Yeah, it's much closer, right? Definitely starting to feel like UCD have started to pull this one back a little bit, feeling more comfortable, feeling more confident. Trinity, though, leaving a little money left over in that last round, will get the buy through here with the M4s. So, definitely not going to be an easy one for UCD. They've got all 5 players with the AKs, everyone has utility. Initial kill coming in from Incipient. Z kept able to pick up the follow-up, drags in with a headshot. And Beast from the East just keeps tapping away, but the kills coming in. God of Fire towards the A bomb site, keeping it at an equilibrium. But look at this position for Rubish. He's coming in from behind and jump spotting. Fanny was up there, but just keeps jump spotting, just trying to find the info. But Rubish has got close, finally spotted. And here's the footsteps. But God of Fire on the prowl in from behind towards T-spawn.
And this round could very quickly slip out of control of Trinity if Fanny goes down there. Now the bomb site is wide open, and God of Fire was in a great position, but not so much when his teammate gets dropped and they lose control of the bomb site now. Exactly, yeah, Caster's Curse, of course. But still, he could manage to make it work if the timing goes in his favor. Now, I think Drags might smell a rat here. And it looks like God of Fire is not even going to opt for the attempt. He's just going to sit back and, Trinity now have started to lose a couple of rounds in a row. This will be the 4th round in a row that they've lost. This is probably the most rounds in a row they've lost in this series so far. So, their morale could be a little bit shaken, and we see actually a pause coming out from Ekip there. So Trinity are going to take a pause coming into round number 22 and maybe have a little bit of a discussion as to how they crack this T-side system of UCD. And I suppose, Dinko, the thing we got to look at here is, as we've said, that's going to be 4 rounds in a row now for UCD on this T side. So one more round on the board and they're going to even up that scoreline. Now, if you're TCD in this situation, what are you talking about in this pause? How do you crack this T side system of UCD?
I don't really think there's anything that has been changed too much. I think it's just been UCD have found a way back into the game. In terms of having control of the economy. When they were getting smashed on the last map, it's because they didn't have that much money because they're on the CT side. It's always difficult to build that up. And so coming into this, they've obviously had a little bit more control of the economy. And things have started to look a bit better for them. And ever since they've got the guns in their hands, the individuals have been able to step up a bit more. Trinity haven't really been able to deal with that as well and as efficiently as they did on Dust 2. And that's why the scoreline is about to be evened unless Trinity can make this work off the back of an AK and a couple of pistols.
Yeah, it's a great point, and UCD definitely laying a lot more confident than they have been, so it's good to see a little bit more of a fairer matchup in this one, but this is most likely going to be 11-11 unless Trinity makes something absolutely outrageous happen, or if God of Fire puts his single AK on the Trinity side to use. But other than that, they are facing down the barrels of 5 AKs over on the UCD side, so it's not looking too likely now. They are going to play this one quite cautiously, especially from the UCD side. They don't want to put themselves in range of those pistols if they can avoid it. And if you're on the UCD team at this point, you got to know that the buy for Trinity is not going to be fantastic here, and they're going to play this one safe. Use up all their utility. Nice methodical round from them, holding their angles in the meantime as well so they don't get flanked. But 35 seconds left on the clock here. And they do have to make something work. They've got to at least get the bomb down or come into contact with Trinity, but they are leaving it quite late in the round now, and we've seen beforehand these rounds can get a little bit chaotic once the clock starts to tick down, and with only 20 seconds left, they still got to make their way onto the bomb site, which is exactly what they're going to do. And God of Fire, he's going to go down. The only man with his AK gets caught out in that wall of smokes. And this is going to be all she wrote, I think, for this round. Like shooting fish in a barrel now for UCD. Just tapping away through the smokes. They know where all these players are. It's just a matter of finding them. Ekip left with his teammate Steven in duo over towards that CT spawn, so they're not going to be able to get too much done. Hopefully pick up 1 or 2 exit frags if they can, but the defuse is not looking very, very likely. UCD with a very, very dominant round there coming in, played it nice and slowly, and they weren't coming up against too much opposition in terms of a buy, but it is still always important to get those rounds on the board, Dinko.
Yeah, easy clean up again from UCD. This is where things start to get very interesting as the Trinity side will start to equip themselves with the rifles. The AWP coming out in God of Fire as well. And they've got everything in the bank for themselves. It's a beast from the east having the M4A4. And so this is where things start to look a little bit more under pressure for UCD. Yes, they've had an easy sailing time of it when it comes to the last couple, but coming into round number 23, the task gets much harder as they look towards the B-bombs. Like all 5 players set up here, the Molotov keeping them at bay for now, but the problem still lies that the CTs have full control of B. They've got 2 players over here.
2 players they do indeed, and that Molotov could cause a bit of trouble now. 1 kill going either way, but Mr. Turtle finds one of his own, so the man advantage now in favour of UCD, and God of Fire needs to find that kill, and he does. He's going to even it up a little bit, and almost finds the next through the smoke. It's not going to go in his favour this time though. And he's just going to wait for his teammates to arrive. They do have the 1 kit on Beast from the east, so they are going to opt for what looks like a retake here. Not going to back off the site yet, and Mr. Turtle is burning in that fire if he's not careful. he could go down, but in the meantime, Drags is going to find a kill of his own. And now Trinity start to move out towards the bomb site. That's a very fast kill from God of Fire with the P250, and they know where the last player is. Double peeked at the same time. Steven's going to help him out. And Trinity now finally managed to put a round on the board. That's their first round in the last 6 so far, Dinko. So nice retake coming in from them. God of Fire finding 3 kills for himself. Stepping up big time for his team. But that could be now the lifeline they get going into the last couple of rounds of this map.
So the problem still lies, though, that UCD have built up quite a bit of cash for themselves, so it's going to be difficult to break that. It'll take a couple more, maybe 1 or 2 more rounds here from the Trinity side. And the problem is, if they lose this, their economy's gone themselves, so important ties for the CT side. Just want to try and finish this grand final. We've got to try and find the kills as they run through the connector. Spray covered in, Scipions falls. Immediately, Trinity with the advantage.
Steven finds himself a nice kill through that smoke, and he's going to find a second one now. Drags pushing into window from boost. Actually, I think he jumped over himself, so no teammate there to back him up. Bit of an interesting decision. Maybe he thought Steven had pushed out onto the A side a little bit more, but he's going to bite off more than he can chew at the very least, and now Trinity are in a very solid position to take this round in their favour. It's going to slow down a little bit. Still a minute on the clock, so plenty of time left. And we see Trinity in a bit of a default spread still. Not quite sure what bomb site UCD are going to hit, but they are opting over towards the A site. This seems to be their default go-to strat whenever they're not quite sure what they want to do. But yeah, a little bit of utility usage coming over the wall. And that's going to be the call now from Trinity. They see the rotates coming over very, very fast. And now UCD have to find a couple of these kills quickly if they want to get control of the bomb site. And now Evan's going to find 2 crucial frags there. Ekip goes down as well as he tries to rotate through, and he's going to pick himself up the up, and he spots another player but can't land the flick. Now Evan stuck in that position near connector, so got to be careful. And the spam coming through, actually Fanny's not going to be able to find it, but deals a considerable amount of damage anyway. Now Trinity, they fancy their chances with this retake, and a great kill from Fanny is going to help him out. Steven finds a kill of his own, and now it's all on Rubish. Can he do it? We saw Steven from earlier in the round from a similar earlier in the game, but he's not going to be able to do it. Rubish going to get dropped, and Steven the man to do it. And Trinity are going to pick up yet another round, Dinko. Steven actually picking up a 4K there for himself.
Yeah, Steven has definitely started to step up here. 22 kills, he's up on top with Ekip, who's somewhat dropped off so far in this game. So it's good to see someone else stepping up for the Trinity side. They're now only 3 rounds away from taking victory. UCD, they need to try and step up in this next round as they have got themselves another buy through, but the problem is if they lose this, there's no money left. They'll be back to the pistols, and that will be looking very solid for the Trinity side. They will most likely be on map point if that is the case, and tournament point at this point, because obviously we're nearing the end of the grand finals. What a way that would be for UCD to fall on, you know, just losing after such a comeback.
Yeah, such a comeback is the way it's going to go. I imagine if they want to do it, they got to bring it to map number 3 in this grand final. But Trinity, on the other hand, are going to be hoping to put a stop to that. And one thing you touched on there, Dinko, is if they lose this round for the Trinity side, they are going to be back at square one, and they don't have a huge amount of rounds left to play with on the board. So this could be a crucial round for them. UCD have still got a little bit of money in the bank in terms of Drags and Rubish, sitting at 2.5 and 3,000 each. So even if they do lose this round, they're going to be in a tricky situation, but at least a little bit of money in the bank to help them out. But Rubish now, he's going to get aggressive in apartments. Finds a very easy kill onto Ekip. He's going to drop down to 12 though. And now we see Fanny needs to hold on to the bomb site. He manages to find Mr. Turtle, but Rubish finds a great second kill of the round, and he will eventually get taken down now. It's just all on Evan as his teammate gets dropped. Beast from the East comes alive in this round and gets himself a kill with that AWP. But now Evan, he's got a big job at hand here. Can he stop Trinity from going on to that 14th point? He's going to peek out wide. Manages to get by, but they know where he is now, and the Trinity are going to start to close the vice. He needs to start picking up a couple of kills here. There's only 13 seconds left, and Beast from the East finds himself a second kill of the round. Very decisive there from Trinity, and only losing 2 players in the process, so their economy is looking quite good now as we see the pause come in from Drags. So this is going to be probably their last pause of this game, I imagine.
Yeah, at this point, Trinity have just taken full control of this final. Just 2 away from taking this over the line and giving themselves victory here at the Collegiate. UCD going to go for the half buy, which they've done quite a lot, so they're going to play for overtime. This is such a ballsy call from Drags. So they invest a little bit, they leave enough to get a buy into the next, and they're going to play for that overtime scoreline. It's going to be so difficult, though.
It is. They really have a mountain to climb if they want to take this all the way, and it's one of those decisions you got to make when your back is against the wall, and Drags has called this half buy here. They've got the Deagles and they've got the P250 on Mr. Turtle. Very limited armor and utility as well, but let's see if they can make something happen here. It looks like they're going to go for maybe a slightly more early execute onto the bomb site, hoping to catch Trinity out, but we see Beast in the East. He's still got that AWP in his hands and he's been absolutely deadly so far, but considering they haven't gone for any mid control yet, that could spell disaster now for UCD if Trinity managed to realize what's going on. But bit of a default spread so far. We see the execute now start to come in, and this is where it's all on the line for UCD. Can they put these Deagles to use? And the flashbangs are raining in from everywhere. There's fire burning all around. Can UCD get out? But that nade causes huge damage for UCD, and now Incipien's burning in the fire as well. Everyone is still alive, but they're in close proximity. The bomb is going to go down. And now Trinity have to start making a move. Steven is going to find himself a kill already. And that's going to spring Trinity into action. We see more grenades raining in. Mr. Turtle is going to catch that one. Tagged down to 76 HP. And they've got to be careful, though. This flank is coming in very hot and fast. And Ekip's going to find himself a kill as well. Got a fire, chimes in. And Steven now helping him out. It's just all on Mr. Turtle. And he's stuck in the smoke. He's actually going to go for the knife and gets it. But I think they still have enough time. It's going to be close, but they've got the defuse, and that's going to be 15-11 now for Trinity. UCD are staring down the barrel of the gun at this stage, Dinko.
Yeah, here comes the overtime call. They have to play perfectly for the next 4 here. If they lose one, it's over. And Trinity will be the champions here at the Irish Collegiate Championships. And actually, God of Fire is going to call for the pause. He's going to call the pause right here and trying to get in the heads, perhaps, of UCD.
Yeah, interesting call from the pause here. So they've got 4 attempts now at match and tournament point. So they're going to be having a bit of a discussion here, probably just to calm the nerves as well, just to make sure that, you know, they don't rush into anything too hastily. But on the other hand, UCD, they're going to be thinking about this one now. They haven't got any more mistakes left to make. They have to take all the next rounds just to bring it to overtime, just to even give themselves a chance at map number 3. We are going to see what could be potentially the final round come in. And that mid presence now from Trinity could prove crucial, but first open frag is going to go the way of God of Fire.
Yeah, initial kill coming in, Incipient's finished off. It's a man advantage for the Trinity side. Coming into possibly the last round of the game, the last round of the whole tournament. As Trinity would love to have taken this a little bit earlier, but they've brought it here to 15-11. UCD, this is their map pick, and they just have not made it work. They tried to come back, they started to come back, but eventually it fell back into the hands of Trinity, and they've only got 4 more kills to find to give themselves that number 1 spot in the Irish Collegiate Championship. So here comes the execute in from UCD into the A bomb site. They run in, the utility being used up. Mr. Turtle, he has the AWP up inside of the palace, looks to try and rattle one through that smoke, but it's not to be. Beast from the East opens things up. The Molotov burning alive another player. It's into 3 players, too low, drags in Evan. It's all falling apart here for UCD. 2 more kills to 5 for Trinity to be the victors of the Collegiate Championship.
Mr. Turtle and Evan have got it all to do, and Mr. Turtle is on a huge rotate around. Is he going to get there in time before the defuse comes in? But in a 1 versus 4, he's got to go absolutely nuclear, and he's not going to be able to do it. That's going to be the round for Trinity. That's going to be the tournament for Trinity, and they are going to take it 16-11 on Mirage. So GG's in the chat. GG's all round. But it is going to be Trinity College Dublin, your Irish Collegiate Esports Winter Challenge champions, ladies and gentlemen. And for everyone watching at home, that is going to be the game. That's going to be the tournament.
Yeah, it was a valiant effort from UCD into the last few rounds of Mirage, but in the end, Trinity just a little too hot to handle coming out of that Dust 2 map as well. It's not great for your mentality. So yeah, Trinity are the champions here, and I believe they were in the finals of the last one, so definitely becoming a consistent team throughout these tournaments, and I'm looking forward to seeing them again.
Me too, absolutely. And I would just like to take this chance to thank everyone so far for watching tonight and through all the other games that we've had throughout this tournament. We couldn't do it without you all cheering us on from Twitch chat, and for anyone who might be watching the VODs as well. And a special thank you to yourself, Dinko, for joining me tonight. It was unfortunate that Ferex couldn't be here, but thank you very much for joining me on this cast. It was a great final, and it's been a great tournament overall.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun. I mean, glad I could help out, but Trinity are the victors, and we're going to go to a little bit of a break here and hope you guys will be back for the rest of the Irish Collegiate. We're going to have some more seasons probably coming up after this, so don't go anywhere.